Hello there, this is the Aptitude Guy. Welcome to another lesson video of quantitative aptitude. This is part 2 of ratios and proportions. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I strongly suggest that you watch it. I'll link it right here. Watch that first and then come back here. Alright, let's start with the questions of this part. Question number 11. Question number 1 to 10 are in part 1 like I just mentioned. This is question number 11. Pause the video, try to solve it and then come back. Alright, let's do this. Now this is not a very easy question, not a very difficult question either, but slightly calculation heavy. Let's do it. The value of a diamond is directly proportional to the square of its weight. Okay, so value of the diamond is directly proportional to the square of its weight. Okay, now a diamond unfortunately breaks into three pieces with the weights in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5. So the weights can be in the ratio of 3x, sorry, the weights could be 3x, 4x and 5x. So what is the total weight? What was the weight of the big diamond which actually got broken off? 3x plus 4x plus 5x, that is equal to 12x. Alright. Now, what would be the value of the diamonds? Now, what will be the value of the smaller diamonds? We know that value is directly proportional to the square of the weight. So, value of the smaller diamond would be sum of the squares of all of these things. So, the value of this diamond will be 3x whole square. Weight square is value, plus 4x whole square plus 5x whole square. This is equal to 9x square plus 16x square plus 25x square. This is equal to 50x square. This is the value of all the small diamonds. Now what will be the value of the big diamond? The weight of the big diamond is 12x, so the value will be 12x whole square. That is equal to 144x square. So you see the difference? The weight is same, but the value has decreased after the breakage significantly because it is directly proportional to the square of the weight. Now, they have mentioned that because of the breakage, the loss is 9.4 lakhs. Now, what is loss in this case? Loss is nothing but the value of the big diamond minus the value of all the small diamonds. That is the loss, the difference. That is equal to 144x square minus 50x square. This is equal to 9.4 lakhs. That is 9.4 into 10 to the power 5 because a lakh has 5 zeros. So then what do we have here? 144 minus 50 is 94x square. This is equal to 9.4 into 10 to the power 5 is nothing but 94 into 10 to the power 4. So now what happens? 94 and 94 get cancelled. X square is 10 to the power 4. That's it. That is all that we need. They have asked what is the actual value of the diamond. That means the value of the big diamond. Value of the big diamond, as we already know, is 14x square. Sorry, 144x square. So this is 144 into x square is 10 to the power 4. This is nothing but 14.4 lakh. The answer is option C. Like I said, this is not a very easy question, but not a very difficult question either. Any doubts over here? Please watch this part again, the solution again. And if you still have some doubts, definitely drop that in the comments. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question number 12. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do this. Weight of a sumo jointly varies as his height and his age. What does this mean? Now, weight of a sumo jointly varies. That means it's directly proportional. Now, let me explain a little bit about proportionality. If at all I say A is directly proportional to B, what does this mean? Now, some of you might say this means that when A increases, then B also increases. That is not entirely true actually. A is directly proportional to B. That means A depends on B. B doesn't depend on A. If A is directly proportional to B, that means when B increases, A also increases. It doesn't mean that when A increases, B also increases. B is not dependent on A. A is dependent on B. Alright? It's like saying when you eat more food, your weight increases. Your weight is directly proportional to the food you eat. But the food you eat is not directly proportional to the weight that you are. Sometimes you might just be a little bigger without having much of an appetite. That also happens. Alright, so be careful about what it is. Similarly, A is inversely proportional to B is written like this. This means when B increases, A decreases. And when B decreases, A increases. Again, A proportional to B means A is dependent on B and not the other way around. So here, weight of a sumo jointly varies as his height and his age. So weight is directly proportional to height and age. This means when height increases, weight increases. Also, when age increases, weight increases. Okay. Now, how to convert this proportionality into an equation? I'll tell you the best way to doing that. W is directly proportional to H into A can be written as W1 by W2 equals H1 by H2 into A1 by A2. Okay. So we have W1 by W2. What is W1? W1 is 48. W2 is, we don't know. That is what we need to find. Height 1 is 1.2 meters. Height 2 is 1.5 meters right here. Age 1 is 20 years, age 2 is 30 years. Linear equation in one variable. Very easy to solve. So, the first things which get cancelled are 0, 0, point, point. Done. So, weight 2 equals, we have 48 into 15 and 3 will go this side. 15 into 3 divided by 12 into 2. So 12 into 2 is 24. Let's cancel them out. 12 into 2 is 24. 24 2s are 48. That's it. Now 2 into 15 30. 30 into 3 we have 90. The answer is option C. Done. So you see how simple this is. Write the proportionality, then convert it into an equation, then substitution, calculation. Proportionality, equation, substitution, calculation. That's all, nothing else. Any doubts over here, definitely drop them in the comments. And if at all you liked this method of solving this question, drop a like so that whenever you want to revise this topic, this video is readily available in the liked videos section of your app. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question number 13. Do not get too scared about the size of this question. Trust me, it's just as simple as the previous question. Pause the video, take your time, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's solve this. What did we learn from the previous question? Proportionality and then equation. First, write the proportionality. Distance covered by a train is directly proportional to the time taken. Alright. Distance traveled is directly proportional to time taken. It also varies directly as the square root of the fuel used. Okay, directly proportional to square root of the fuel, and inversely as the number of wagons. Inversely as the number of wagons. Okay, divided by, because inversely, the number of wagons. This is the thing. This is the proportionality. Now let's convert it into an equation. We have d1 by d2 equals t1 by t2 into square root of f1 divided by square root of f2 into inversely proportional to n, so n2 by n1. Alright, now comes the substitution part. D1 is how much? 192 kilometers. Okay, divided by D2 is, we have 200 kilometers. Alright, equals T1 is 20 hours. T2 is 25 hours. Okay. Square root of F1. F1 is 256 liters. Divided by square root of F2. We need to find. N2. Be very careful here. This is N2, not N1. N2 is 15. And N1 is 10. This is a huge equation, but there is only one unknown. We can easily solve it. Let's see. So we have square root of F2 equals, we have 20 into square root of 256 is 16 into 15 into this 200 will come over here. Divided by, we have 25 into 10, 25 into 10 into 192. Okay, let's start cancelling things out now. First of all, 0 and 0 gone. Second of all, 25 into 8 is 200. Now 8 2s are 16 and then 32, 8 4s are 32. Okay, now 2 12s are 24. Then 4 4s are 12, sorry, 4 3s are 12 and 4 4s are 16. And then 3 5s are 15. Nice, very nice cancellation. This is equal to 4 5s are 20. This is why 20 is given in the options, but this is not the correct answer. Because this is square root of fuel used, not the entire fuel used. So, the fuel used will be 20 square, which is 400. This is why 400 is also given in the options, but that is also not the correct answer. What is the question? The question is, find the consumption of fuel per kilometer. Per kilometer, not the entire fuel used. How many kilometers is it traveling? It's traveling 200 kilometers. So fuel per kilometer equals 400 liters divided by 200 kilometers. That is equal to 2 liters per kilometer. Answer is option B. So you see, some people mark option D as the answer, some people mark option C as the answer. Please be very careful while reading the question. My suggestion is always, before you mark an answer, make sure you read the actual question as to what has been actually asked and only then mark the answer. Okay, any doubts over here? Please rewatch the solution, and if you still have some doubt, definitely drop them in the comments. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Alright, this is a partnership type question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do this. Now, in such questions, in partnership questions, you need to focus on just three things, okay? You need to focus on profit, you need to focus on capital or the investment, and then you need to focus on the time. Now, profit is directly proportional to capital and time. That means the more the capital, more the profit, and more the time, more the profit. This is what we follow. That means profit of Wayne divided by profit of Stark. We have the billionaire of DC and the billionaire of Marvel here. This is equal to capital of Wayne divided by capital of Stark into time of Wayne divided by time of Stark. Now what is the ratio given? Ratio is 9:7, okay? This is equal to capital of Wayne is 36,000. Actually, it will be 36,000 crores, but let's take 36,000. Capital of Stark, we will have to find that obviously. Time of Wayne, Wayne started the business. That means at the end of the year, the time of Wayne is 12 years. And what is the time of Stark? Stark joined after 4 months. This is why a lot of people end up writing 4 over here. But no, Stark joined the business after 4 months. That means he was in the business for how many months? He was in the business for 8 months. That's it. All we need to do is solve for capital of Stark. This is equal to 36,000 into 12 into 7 divided by, we have 9 into 8. When you solve this, you will get 42,000 as the answer. Answer is option B. Now, if at all you end up writing 4 over here instead of 8, then you'll end up getting option D as the answer. But the answer is option B. Okay? Very simple stuff. Profit, capital, time. That's all. Any doubts here? Definitely drop them in the comments. And if you understood the whole thing, you will definitely be able to solve the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Okay. Now, in the 14th question, we had fictional billionaires. In this question, we have real life billionaires. We have Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Again, the same thing. We have profit of Elon divided by profit of Jeff equals capital of Elon divided by capital of Jeff into we have time of Elon divided by time of Jeff. What is the ratio? We have 6 is to 17. This is equal to capital of Elon. That is what we need to find. Okay. Capital of Elon is unknown. Capital of Jeff. Jeff started the business 12 months ago with 1275. 1275. Time of Elon. Who started the business? Jeff started the business. So Jeff's time is 12 months. And Elon and Jeff came into a partnership just 5 months ago. That means Elon was in the business for 5 months. Now, some of you might ask, in the previous question we had 4, but we took 8 months. But here we have 5 months and we are taking 5 months. Why so? Because in the previous question it said that he joined the business after 4 months. That means he was in the business for 8 months. But this question says that he got into a partnership 5 months ago. That means he has been in the partnership for 5 months. So we only take that time for which they were in the business for. Okay. So now capital of Elon is equal to, we have 6 into 1275 into 12 divided by 17 into 5. When you solve this, you will get 1080 as the answer. Answer is option B. Done. Okay. I'm guessing there are no doubts. If you understood the previous question, you will definitely understand this question. But still, if you have some doubt, drop them in the comments. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 16. Very nice with ratios and percentages. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Okay, let's do this. 3 numbers are in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5. Okay, so the numbers are 3. This is actually just a one-line solution. Very simple stuff. 3 is to 4 is to 5. Now they increase by 40%, 30%, 20% respectively. Now if something increases by 40%, it becomes 140%. So this into 140%. Now 4 increases by 30%, so it becomes 130%. And 5 increases by 20%, so it becomes 120%. Please remember 140, 130, 120. Many people make a mistake and then they just multiply it by 40, 30, 20. That would have been the case if they had said they become. Instead of increase, they become 40, 30 and 20%. Then we would have multiplied by 40, 30, 20. But they have mentioned they increase by. So we should mention 140, 130, 120. If at all they had mentioned decrease by, then it would have been 60, 70, 80. Okay, let's solve it now. This one gone. 0, 0, 0 gone. What else? Everything is even number. So 2 sevens are 14, 2 twos are 4, and 2 six are 12. 3 sevens are 21. 2 13s are 26. And then 5 6 are 30. The answer is option A. Done. Told you. Just a one-line solution. That's it. Okay. Any doubts over here? Definitely drop them in the comments. If not, let's move on to the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do this. We have P, Q, and R enter into a partnership. Okay. We have P, we have Q, we have R in a partnership. The capitals are in the ratio 3 is to 2 is to 1. And what about the time? P leaves the business after 4 months. So P was in the business for 4 months only. After 4 months more, Q leaves the business. So Q leaves the business after 8 months. And R stays in the entire business for the entire year. That means the ratio of the times is 1 is to 2 is to 3. So what about the ratio of the profits? The ratio of the profits will be 3 into 1 is to 2 into 2 is to 1 into 3. So we have 3 is to 4 is to 3. So the ratio of their profits is 3 is to 4 is to 3. Okay. Now the question says if R takes an additional 10% of the total profit for managing the business, that means whatever profit is there, R takes 10% already. Okay. R takes 10%. Suppose this whole thing is the profit. R already takes 10% of it. And then the remaining, this remaining 90% which is there, that gets distributed amongst them in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 3. Again with P, Q and R. R is already getting this 10%. This 10% goes to R. But then R gets another additional this one also. Okay. So this part is ours and it is untouched by anybody else. That is what it means. So let's try to solve it now. They have asked what part of the profit does R get? Okay. So we need to find profit of R. First of all, R gets 10% of the profit right out of the bat. Definitely gets it. Plus, now in this ratio, how much does R get? R gets 3 out of 3 plus 4 plus 3. 3 out of 3 plus 4 plus 3. Of what percent? Of the remaining 90%. This is the answer. Let's solve it now. We have 10% plus 3 by 10 into 90%. So 0, 0 gone. This is equal to 10% plus 3 nines are 27%. 10 plus 27, 37%. The answer is option B. Now, a lot of people, what they end up doing is they either forget to add this 10% here, then they get 27%, or they completely forget about the 10% additional. They find 3 by 10 into 100. That is 30%. That is why they get C. So if you get option A or option C, now you know what mistake you made. This is the correct answer. If you understood it, that is amazing. If you have even a small doubt, definitely drop that in the comments. I'll definitely try to answer it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Okay. Rachel purchased 1 dozen bangles. 1 dozen is, of course, 12. One day she slipped on the floor and fell down. What cannot be? What cannot be the ratio of broken to unbroken bangles? Basically, we need to figure out that the number 12, that is 1 dozen, 12 cannot be distributed in which of these ratios? Now, generally speaking, the most commonly marked wrong answer for this question is option D. All because people see the 5 over here and then they just decide that it cannot be divided by 5. So, obviously, that is the wrong answer. Obviously, that cannot be the ratio. So, they think this is the correct answer, but that is not the case. Let's see. We have 12. Can it be distributed in 1 is to 2 ratio? Yes, we have 4 and 8. Now we have 12. Can it be distributed in 1 is to 3 ratio? Yes, 3 and 9. 3 threes are 9. 3 plus 9, 12. Can 12 be distributed in 1 is to 5 ratio? Yes. We have 2 and we have 10. 2 5s are 10. 2 plus 10, 12. Can 12 be distributed in 2 is to 3 ratio? Absolutely not. So the answer is option C. You're right that 12 is not divisible by 5, but you should not use it for individual terms here. You should use it for the sum. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is a factor of 12. Yes, so this one is possible. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is a factor of 12. Yes, so this is also possible. 1 plus 6, 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is a factor of 12. Yes, so this is also possible. But 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 is not a factor of 12. So that is why it's the wrong answer. I mean, it cannot be the ratio. That is why it's the correct answer. Okay, I hope this clarifies your doubt. If you still have a doubt, then you know what to do. Let's move on to the next question. All right, again a proportionality question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Okay, 50 liters of diesel is required to travel 500 kilometers using 800 cc. Volume of diesel required to cover a distance is varies directly as the capacity of the engine. Okay, so we have the fuel, which is directly proportional to the distance, obviously, because more distance, more fuel, and it is also directly proportional to the capacity of the engine. Let's see. This means F1 by F2 equals D1 by D2 into C1 by C2. F1 is 50. F2 is, we need to find. D1 is 500 kilometers. D2 is 800 kilometers. C1 is 800 cc. C2 is 1000 cc. Let's cancel things out now. 800 and 800 gone. 50 tens are 500. 0 gone. So we have F2 equals 100 liters. Answer is option C. That's it. Very easy question. You see the solution is actually smaller than the question. Alright, any doubts here? Drop them in the comments. Otherwise, let's move on to the next one. Alright, the question looks very simple. It's very small. See if you can solve the question. Pause the video and try it out. Alright, let's do this. Now, many people will get the answer as option A, that is 100 meters. But let me tell you right now, this is the wrong answer. Now, why is this the wrong answer? Let me explain that first and then I'll tell you how to solve it. They have mentioned that there is a race of 1000 meters, okay? This is the racetrack. We have 1000 meters over here. Now, A beats B. Now, when do you beat a person in a race? You beat a person when you reach the finish line. So, A is already at the finish line. A beats B by 200 meters. So, B is somewhere over here, 200 meters. Now, A beats C by 300 meters. So, that means C is 300 meters behind A. That means what is the difference between B and C? Of course, 100 meters. But this is not the final answer. What is the question? This is 300. Yeah. What is the question? By how many meters will B beat C? B beat C. At this point, the difference between them is 100. Yes. But has B beaten C yet? No. When do you beat a person in a race? When you reach the finish line. So the question actually is that when B reaches the finish line, C will be how many meters behind B? That is the question. Now, if at all you say that since here the difference between them is 100, so here also the difference between them will be 100, then with that logic, here also the difference between them is 100. Here also it's 100. Here also it's 100. Here also it's 100. Here also it's 100. In the beginning of the race, can the difference between them be 100? That means B started the race and C is right here. And then when the difference between them was 100 meters, after that B and C, that is when C started moving in the same speed as B. And then throughout the journey, the difference between them was 100. That doesn't make any sense. In the beginning of the race, both of them are at the same place, starting line. After that, slowly, the difference increased, and at this point of time, the difference between them is 100. So at this point of time, the difference will be how much? That is the question. Okay, now how to actually solve this? So now I hope that you are convinced that 100 is the wrong answer, because if here also it is 100, here also it is 100, then throughout the race it has to be 100, which is not possible. Now how to solve this using ratios? See, in such questions what we do is we always assume that the speeds of A, B and C are uniform. That means they are not changing. That means that the speed of B divided by the speed of C is always constant. This ratio is always constant. And we also know that speed is directly proportional to distance, right? More distance to travel, more speed. So this is equal to distance traveled by B divided by distance traveled by C. Now let's see. We have how much distance traveled by B in this case, in the first case? 800 meters, of course. 1000 minus 200, 800 meters. And what is the distance traveled by C? 700 meters. So the ratio is actually, if you think about it, it is 8 is to 7. That means when B traveled 8 meters, C traveled 7 meters. When B traveled 80 meters, C traveled 70 meters. 800, 700, 8000, 7000, so on and so forth. Now in case 2, what happens is, how many meters has B traveled? A total of 1000 meters. So in this case, C would have traveled how much? Let it be x. This is x. Obviously cross multiply. Let's find it out. X is equal to 1000 into 700 divided by 800. So 0 and 0 gone. We have this. This is equal to 875. When you calculate this, you will get 875 meters. So, what is the difference between them? The difference is, of course, 1000 minus 875, that is equal to 125 meters. The answer is option B. Okay, now in real life, we know that in real life this is not possible because speed is impossible to be uniform. Obviously, in the starting, the speed is 0, then slowly it builds up. Then here maybe it's in the peak. Then sometimes it will slow down, sometimes it will go fast, again slow down, again go fast. But for the ease of calculation, we always consider it as uniform speed. Now, since the speeds are uniform and they don't change, the ratio is constant. So here also the ratio is constant. That's it. Alright, if you completely understood this question, that is amazing. If you still have some doubts, definitely drop them in the comments. Alright, with that we reach the end of this video, and with that we reach the end of ratios and proportions, both the parts. Thank you so much for watching the videos. If you liked the video, and if at all you understood a lot of things and it solved a lot of your doubts, then please consider subscribing to the channel for more such videos. And if at all you liked it, then like I said earlier, like the video so that it is saved in the liked section of your YouTube app. If you want to watch the previous video, it's right here, and the next video is right here. This was the Aptitude guy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.